Hi, this is Takashi Nohara from Jazz Blues Japan. Today I just want to talk about the Blue Note reissues here in Japan. I just put the title kind of exaggerated. The rise and fall of Blue Note reissues vinyl records here in Japan. But if you look at the anyway, in the past we talked about that kind of issue, but today specifically I just want to focus on the quality of the vinyl and also the sleeve and the rest, especially the sound quality. If you look at the history of Blue Note reissues, of course the vinyl records I'm talking about, the first reissue was made by the Toshiba EMI, which I think was back to the early 70s. And the Toshiba EMI, before that time, I think they had a contract with the Blue Note. At that time, I think Blue Note Liberty and the UA, around that time, kind of in transition from the Blue Note Liberty and to the United Artists. So the late 60s. But in the 60s, they were not given the official license to manufacture the reissue vinyl records here in Japan. So what they did is to just import the original, Blue Note reissues from the US and then market those records here in Japan. So that's what they did for the first time. But in the early 70s, they were given the license to produce their own reissue records here in Japan. And they manufactured the series called NR series, which I don't have the sample right now. So that is the early 70s. So NR series, I think basically the 1500 series, just some, not many titles at that time. And then later on, the Toshiba EMI started manufacturing what we call LNJ series, which are now popular all over the world because of the sound quality. I have a sample here. This is the John Coltrane, the Blue Train. Blue Train. So it has the OB. They have a OB like the blue and a yellow OB. Yeah. So this is the LNJ series, and the sound quality. Most of the jazz collectors all over the world, they know that the sound quality of LNJ series is very good, and to me also, I think it's very good, and apart from the sound quality, the sound itself, the good thing about these LNJ series is that all the titles, the sound is very stable, and also the quality of the vinyl and also the manufacturing of the vinyl is very well made. I don't see any press error because I have sold maybe hundreds or more than hundreds, maybe thousands of LNJ series in the past 2 years, at eBay, but I rarely, find the press error on the vinyl, so the groove is very stable, and amazingly, for those years, LNJ series was produced in the mid 70s, so more than half a century, right? More than 40 years, nearly 50 years. Some of them, this one too, if you look at the vinyl, it does look brand new, you know. Yeah, I cannot imagine. And the sound quality still is very good. And some of them are just mint, if you if you spin it, you cannot hear the noise. It's like you are listening to the CD or something else, analog. No, not analog record. Surface noise, no, nothing. Yeah, that kind of thing. The quality of the vinyl is very well made and good. Yeah, that's LNJ series. And also the sound. The sound, I think, is very sensitive. To compare to the King record, which I will talk about right now, I think the sound itself is very sensitive. Especially for the higher, high and the mid, are very sensitive and very in detail. That is the characteristic of the LNJ sound. I mean the Toshiba EMI, especially the LNJ series. And later on, the license was transferred from the Toshiba EMI to the King Record in the late 70s. And the King Record manufactured this series called the GXF and the GXK. I think all the Blue Note reissues numbered like GXF something and GXK something, but later in the early 80s they also produced the series called K18P something, but mainly GXF and the GXK series. And this is one of the GXK series. Jackie McLean, the street singer, with the obi. And the King Record version, I mean the sound is very stable too, the same as the LNJ series. And also the vinyl quality is very good. You cannot find any preset almost perfect. Almost perfect. And also the sound is very stable all over. And in terms of the sound quality, not the quality, but the characteristics of the sound compared to the LNJ series, I think the King Record sound is much more dynamic, and especially the maybe mid and low, much more bold or something. I don't know how I can describe the sound, the characteristics, but anyway, the sound is very dynamic, and yeah, it's a kind of man-like. Anyway, both LNJ series and the King Record GXF, GXK, and the K18 series are very stable, and the sound is very good. And later on, the license was transferred back from the King Record to the Toshiba EMI, and the Toshiba EMI produced a series called the BNJ series. This is one of the samples. Anyway, BNJ series in BST with the obi. During that time, I think the early 90s. They sometimes put obi like this one, and sometimes they put the shrink with the round sticker like this. These are two samples. So this is the early 90s, and the sound quality is still very good. It's almost like identical to the LNJ series, these sounds, BNJ and BST, yes. And these series, I think what I think distinct from the other series is that the quality of the sleeve. They use the coating, jacket, and I think the high quality thick paper. So the quality of the sleeve of these series is very good. I like the quality of the sleeve. BSD and the BNJ, these series, it's very good. Yeah, and the sound still is very good, and I rarely find kind of press errors. But in the late 90s, they produced the series called the Rare Groove collection, and this is one of the samples. Blue Mitchell, Down With It, and this is one of the popular titles of Blue Mitchell. But these series, I must admit that the quality of the vinyl is not that good. I have sold hundreds of copies of this series, but many of them have press errors, like dents and kind of protrusions causing the noise. So it's a kind of risky for you guys to purchase these series. But thanks to the Jazz Blues Japan here, I check the sound. So you just check the when it comes to this obi, blue and orange obi, that means this is one of the Blue Note Rare Groove collections in the late 90s. So you must be careful about the sound quality. I mean the sound noise issue. So you just check the details about the condition. This particular copy is very good. There is no distinct noise issue. Just one song, I think. One title. I mean, one track has a little surface noise, but not that much. So in the late 90s, they produced this series, Rare Groove collection, and the reason why the sound, I mean the quality, deteriorated in the late 90s is because of the CD era. That's the time that the CD manufacturing was anyway accelerating, and the sales of the analog records, like this one, went down drastically. So most of the major companies, including the Toshiba EMI, I think they didn't spend much money on producing the analog records. So I was talking with one of my friends, who is a collector here in Japan. Told me that at that time, so most of the companies, focused on the CD production, not the analog records. So the machinery that they used is rundown, old, maybe 10 years or 15 years old one, and not maintained properly. So there are many press errors, and also at the same time the engineers were not that many. So that is the reason why I assume and I believe the quality of the analog production at that time by the Toshiba EMI deteriorated. But still, the sound is good. Anyway, that's the story of the rise and fall of Blue Note reissues here in Japan. Not that rise and fall, but anyway, that's the story. I hope you enjoy it, and as usual, there is much more records coming almost every day. We are now closing the year, and this year 2020 was kind of special year for most of us, and we went through many things, which are not good because of the pandemic, I know, but still we are here listening to the music we love, and we are here connected with the music we love. I just want to send you love and peace from here in Japan, and I wish and I pray that you and your family are safe and have a wonderful Christmas and a New Year. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.